Hi there, it's Tanga here. I hope you are having a good start to the week. I hope also that you've received the money literacy workshops that I sent through last week. There's a series of them, so just take your time through them. I've had a couple of people book in some time so that we could go through and chat and work out the best way moving forward for them. Remember, this is your designer money plan. It will only work for you. It is specific to your situation, your money values, and is designed to work as a long-term strategy. So pop in there if you wanted to book a time, and I'm happy to have a chat with you. Now, you'll know that I had commenced sending out these workshops off the back of entering into a visionary leadership challenge that our co-founder Jay Kubizak has set up for us in the Six Figure Mentors community. Now, I initially resisted this challenge on the basis that I couldn't really understand, what we were attempting to achieve out of the workshop. I am so glad that I leant into that resistance, if you like, and decided I knew that there was something I needed to learn. If it's one thing that I know about our leaders now, they don't run these things for nothing. There is a purpose behind it. There is a personal transformation that they want you to travel through and experience. And oh my goodness, it has been just that, with a community of people that are all focusing in on random acts of kindness for 30 days. It was really about this introspective process that we can go through to start to learn more about who we are in that whole process of giving and receiving. Huge number of nuggets. One of the ones that I wanted to share with you, which has really come up for me quite a bit, and for me, if it's the one thing that I come away from in this challenge, it has transformed the way that I approach giving and receiving. Now, you'll know that I work in the community service, and over the years, I have developed a very strong practice of setting strong boundaries. And I've set those strong boundaries around fears of burnout. What I hadn't actually realized until this particular challenge was I've really overcompensated for that personal boundaries. And I'll explain what that means. It's sort of born out of my background, having gone through chemotherapy and recovery from breast cancer. And so I've been very aware of the heightened risk around doing just too much and pushing myself too much, because I believe that that was a contributing factor to creating that perfect storm that led to breast cancer in the first place. So I've been trying to really regulate how much I'm actually giving. What I found is by setting these strong boundaries, I'm actually setting I'm playing small. Really, that's the best way to put it. I've realized I've been playing small in this space of giving because of this perceived fear of burnout and compassion fatigue. And these are very definite risks when you're working in an industry where you are constantly serving, and many of you that work in industries like that, in health support, in counselling, in any form of volunteer work as well, you'll understand that one of our key things is being able to practice self-care regularly. So this challenge has actually allowed me to really explore those fears a little bit more in me. And I've also opened up to getting onto a webinar for this Hawaiian practice called Ho'oponopono. And I've heard of this practice being mentioned around our tribe, and out of curiosity, I wanted to jump in there and have a look at it a little bit more. It is a practice that is taught by Dr. Hugh Len and Dr. Joe Vitale. And it really is around this whole inner cleaning process that we go through. And the best way to describe it is we are unable to uplift other people or serve other people unless we are clean ourselves. And one of the number one things that stops us from being completely clean is our memories. And that was just like, that was huge for me, because what I realised was my previous act of service or doing good for other people, there was an underlying need for recognition. There's an underlying need for acceptance. And I know that that goes back to my childhood and feeling neglected by my parents. That was just how I saw it as a middle child, constantly looking for attention. So I know that as an adult, that has come through in a lot of things that I've been doing. Actually, today it happened. A large group of us that split, had 2 tables sitting down to have lunch. And it's the old schoolyard thing. I sat down at a table. There was one person at each table. And as the tables filled up, I actually realised I was sitting at the table on my own. And the other table was getting filled by co-workers who, and it really hurt me that no one noticed. Oh, okay, well, look, let's even this out a little bit. Because, to be honest, I would never let someone be on their own or alone. And so if I was walking back with a meal and I could see there was an imbalance somewhere, I would automatically shift or make an effort to even the balance. And it was very clear that I was actually sitting at this table on my own, and on the other table they had quickly filled to all 8. And so the overflow started to fill on my table. I tell you what, I had these feelings come through me, like total rejection. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was reliving primary school. And I sat with my head down and was eating lunch, and someone joined me eventually. And I did have to go through and do a bit of cleaning, because I know what was coming up in me was a lot of the hurt and the pain of the past, of being excluded and having to pretend that I was okay, having to feel like I belonged. So that sort of came up for me again today. And I know that a lot of that has to be cleaned. I'll be working on that today. But I'm sharing this raw because I guess one of the things that's really come through for me in this whole 30-day journey has transformed me and the way that I deal with challenging situations. The hurt and the pain's still there, and it still comes through just in that scenario. And I've had to learn to clean through that, clean through the memories. And so I'm very conscious that if I am serving someone else, if I'm providing service to someone else, I'm very conscious that I'm asking them what they want. It's not my interpretation of what they want. It's me asking them, how can I help you at the moment? What sort of help do you need right now? So it's been a really interesting 30 days. I am so glad that I stepped into this challenge, and I'm so glad that I have learnt the skill to even notice when resistance is coming up. Whereas in the past, I would have judged that offer that was being put in front of me and would have walked away from it, rather than asking myself, what is it about this resistance that's coming up? How then is that block or resistance showing up for me in other areas of my life? So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you for this time. Thank you for sitting through and hearing me out. I would love for you to be able to share with me any situations that you've gone through as well, where memories have come through in the past that you've held on to, and maybe have even surprised you as an adult. Things that have come through as a child, and take you back to those moments when you felt the most hurt. And so this service is not about act of kindness for other people. It's also those random acts of kindness for yourself, so that you could continuously dip in that never-ending well of energy. Okay, I hope that has made a bit of sense, and I wish you a great week, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next few days. All right, take care. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.